A very good morning to all of you. In my last lecture, I started talking about different views on rasa theory by different scholars in Sanskrit. In my last lecture, I talked about the views of Bharat Muni on rasa. As we all know that it was Bharat Muni who wrote Natya Shastra. And in his Natya Shastra, he talks about the performing art, that is drama. Then he talks about the theory of rasa with reference to different sthayi bhavas. In this lecture, I shall talk about one more Sanskrit scholar's views on rasa. The name of this Sanskrit scholar is Abhinav Gupta. Abhinav Gupta was the 11th century aesthetician who is well known for his interpretation to Bharata's Natya Shastra. His work is known as Abhinav Bharati. So here we understand that Abhinav Bharati is Abhinav Gupta's interpretation to Bharata's Natya Shastra. Indeed, the discussion on rasa was started by Abhinav Gupta itself in this commentary on Bharata's Maxim on rasa. His discussion was based on two words. One is sanyog, that is conjunction, a combination of different powers, and rasa nishpatti, which is the manifestation of rasa. In his interpretation of Bharata's Natya Shastra, he states that by sthayi bhavas, Bharata meant the sthayi bhavas excited by using appropriate vibhavas, anubhavas, and vavikari bhavas. When Bharata states that when certain sthayi bhavas are excited using these appropriate vibhavas, anubhavas, and vavikari bhavas, the sthayi bhava or the dominant emotion is transmuted to its corresponding ras. So we need to understand, as we have discussed in our previous lectures, that sthayi bhavas are corresponding to rasa, means the rasa are associated with 8 sthayi bhavas. So initially, Bharat Muni talked about 8 sthayi bhavas as he claims mentioned by Lord Brahma, and further Bharat Muni states that it was he who added the ninth bhava, ninth rasa, that is Shanti rasa. So when certain sthayi bhavas are excited using appropriate vibhavas, anubhavas, and vikari bhavas, the sthayi bhava is transmuted to its corresponding rasa. Means what exactly? Let's see. A rasa is based on the psychological theory that our personality is constituted of a few primary emotions. And these emotions lie deep in the subconscious or unconscious level of our being. Means we have already talked about the 8 sthayi bhavas which run in human mind on both subconscious and conscious level. They are part and parcel of our personality. And these emotions, primary emotions, are amors, rati, the ludicrous, that is love. Hasya, the pathetic, what we call karun or karuna, and then the heroic is veer, then passionate. By passionate we means what we call anger, krodh, bhayanak, the fearful, bibhast, the nauseating, and the wondrous, vismay, adbhut. So these are the primary emotions, and we have the corresponding rasas like Shrungar ras, Hashya ras, Karun ras, Veer ras, Raudra ras, Bhayanak ras, Bibhasta ras, and the Adbhut ras. Apart from these eight rasas, Bharatmuni talks about Shanti ras. So other scholars have added the bhavas, primary emotions like the peaceful or intellectual, the devotional, and the filial. And these emotions are there in all human beings, in all. And these emotions, irrespective of the person, are called dominant emotions or sthayi bhavas. They are universal emotions, rather, in all human beings. And each emotion, in its manifestation is when this emotion can be seen, the manifestation of this emotion, display of this emotion, shows a composition of diverse sentiment. Means, for example, when we talk about the feeling of love, this feeling of love is shown in different diverse sentiments, which produce the appearance of a permanent flame. And the flames of diverse sentiments give expression to the permanent emotion of love or hate, heroism or anger. And no emotion is called rus unless it is aesthetically excited. Means what? All emotions that we talked about, eight primary emotions and the additional emotions. They are not necessarily rasas, navarasas, unless these emotions are kindled, awakened by the artistic ones. Aesthetic outlet is required. The vibhava, anubhava should be aesthetic one. It should not be from our day-to-day life. And let's understand it with the help of an example. When a young man falls in love with a young woman, and when his whole frame is shaken, he is excited. It is not an example of Sringaras. Another example is, for example, the young man son is dead and he is weeping. Again, we cannot call it the example of Karun Ras. I mentioned that the incidents from our day-to-day life do not excite rasa. They are our primary emotions. Whereas rasa is an aesthetic flavor. It is an emotion excited by artistic or aesthetic circumstances. When you see a young man falling in love with a young woman in the drama or while reading, on the screen of the movie or while reading a novel, and whatever emotions you experience, that can be called Sringaras. When you see a character in a drama is suffering, is undergoing a torturing experience, that can be called Karunas. In our day-to-day life, we come across these things, but they are not examples of rasa. So rasa is an emotion excited by artistic circumstances. That's what we need to understand. And that is how Abhinav Gupta talks about the rasa theory.